us. Love's never gone so fast, just like that.
Alright, yo, listen, before we get into YouTube videos, subscribe to the channel every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 11 a.m. Drop a comment, drop a like. Let's get into it. Obviously, I did a video a couple days ago, you guys. I think really positive feedback. I want to talk to you guys again today. And today I want to talk to you guys about timing, okay? And I don't want to say it's necessarily some sort of, divine timing, although in my opinion it is. But I want to talk to you guys about this concept of, like, it's not always going to happen when you want it to happen. And it's kind of like accepting that. Let me give you guys an example, okay? Has there ever been a time in your life when you looked at the things that you had, or the trajectory of your life, the direction you were going in, and you look back and you're like, wow, all that happened like either so perfectly, to the point where it's almost just undeniable the fact that you felt like it was just meant to be, right? I'll give you guys my own personal example, right? I've talked about this many times. I'm not talking about this to get pity or anything, but so when I was 6, my father took his life, and it took me about 20 years till I was about 26 for it to start to really make sense, because of all the things that I went through, all the conversations that I had, all the moments that I had with father figures and friends and people in my life that I was like searching for this sort of like father love, this like guidance. And around 26 years old, through making content and doing all this stuff, by accident, I became sort of like that figure for a lot of other men, young men, people who watched me make content over all these years. And I was realizing, I was like, wow, like that thing that was so traumatic that happened to me in my life made sense now when I was 26, right? So it took 20 years for that timing to make sense. And I'm telling you this to tell you this in all sense of the word. Like, there is such thing as a divine timing, in the sense of, even though you may want something when you want it, or think like you're ready for it, there's just a reality that if you haven't learned the lessons, if you're really not truly there, like you always know the truth in your heart, you're not gonna be able to receive the sort of blessings that you want. And oftentimes, like, it's just not by your timing. Like, I can't sit here and say that 20 years that it took for me to be like, whoa, this all finally made sense, and it almost made sense so perfectly and so seamlessly that even though the experience was so bad at such a young age, I can tell you right now, I would never have changed any of that to forego what I have in my life now and then, when I started to realize that 26, 27, obviously, I'm 34 now, I would never have let go of it and said, oh, I wish that never happened. There was moments leading up to that where I was like, man, I wish this never happened to me. Why is this my life? Why am I living this way? How come they have that? How come he has that? How come I don't have this sort of father figure? And I remember living like that for so many years. And then it all made sense. And it wasn't when I wanted it to make sense, because keep in mind, I wanted it to make sense when I was 6, when I was 7, when I was 8, when I was 9. It made no sense until I was 26. It took me 20 years to go, oh, it makes sense. So by that same understanding, right, I have to also say, if this divine, the timing could be so perfect for it to make sense at that moment in my life and everything did happen the way that it's supposed to be, and like, I mean, shit, we're all on this fucking rock in like the middle of the fucking universe with life on it. And it's just like the randomness of all of this is so crazy that I could sit there and say, this made sense for me despite all the things I went through. I also have to be able to surrender to the fact that all the other things that I think should be happening when I want them to happen, and they're not happening, I also have to surrender and say, it's okay. Even though I want it to be a certain way. Even though I wish I would have been better in a relationship, or I would have been better in a friendship, or I would have been better for some business situation or some project, whatever. At that point, I did what I thought was best. Not that it was the best, but it made the most sense. And it made the most sense for my timing. And even though I wanted it to be something maybe that it could have been, and it wasn't something that it could have been, or the relationship that it could have been, I still have to understand that I can't take that situation and the way that those situations, the things that like I wanted that I didn't receive, and put it out of whack and put it in my mind and be like, oh, why has this happened to me? And at the same time, also understand and respect the fact that there was divine timing, period, in the rest of my life and all these other circumstances. So the reason why I'm telling you this, guys, is like, try not to get so caught up in all these moments and try your best to just be as present as possible. Because being present in all of these moments is going to allow you to really receive the things that you're supposed to receive, the lessons, the pain, the happiness, everything that you think you want out of these, like friendships, relationships, business situations. You're going to learn, you're going to create the most from being as present as possible. At the same time, not allowing yourself like to be so caught up on what you thought it should have been and the time of it being, happening the way that you want it to happen. Like, let that past version of you die. Like, let it go. You have to let it go, because the truth is, no matter what, in whatever those circumstances are, relationships, whatever, friendships, relationships, business stuff, whatever you're dealing with, you're like, man, I wish this or I wish that. The truth is, it's past. It's not. It's gone. And the reality is that it doesn't mean because something's gone, it's gone forever. But like the version of what it was, if it didn't work out, it's supposed to not work out. Like, and you have to allow yourself to be okay with that in order to receive the things that you think you really want. Like that big picture, that idea. If you don't let this stuff go, then the things that you actually want, you're going to continue to push away from yourself. You're going to continue to not be ready for that divine timing. You're going to continue to move forward and be like, dragging yourself through the mud based on the past experiences. So I urge you guys to just like, it's hard, it's so hard, and trust me, I understand it, to pause and just accept where you're at. Not saying, okay, I accept where I'm at, and I'm surrendering, I'm not going to do anything, right? That's not what I'm saying. But surrender to what's happened, surrender to where you're at, accept where you're at, and take today and tomorrow. But don't even get so caught up on the tomorrow. Just take this next moment. When you end this video, think about, okay, what do I really want today? What will help me today to get to where I want to be tomorrow, the next day, right? But you have to live right now. And if you keep living in the future, where it's going to be, or if you keep living in the past, where it was, you're never going to get to that picture that you actually want. Because the power is always in the present. So I urge you guys to stay there. I love you guys. I struggle with it all the time, and I know fucking all of us do. But it's just a matter of reminding yourself. Sometimes, more often than you think you should. Like, sometimes you have to just be more on top of yourself, and that's just the reality of it. So I love you guys. Subscribe to the channel every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm gonna do more talking videos, talking to you guys like I kind of always had in the past. This is a little bit of a different circumstance. Normally I would talk about like a dumpster by a gym or something, but I genuinely appreciate the love. If you have not already done it, make sure you do it right now. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, comment, like, all that good stuff in the algorithm. And yeah, I'll see you guys on Wednesday? Yeah. Okay, this is Monday. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. I love you guys.